We're back. I'm Amy, and I'm here with my friend Buck, and we're here to talk about our dysfunctional lives. I'm a psychotherapist with over 30 years of experience, or probably 35 years of experience, and for the last 30 of those, I've been battling MS. And here's my friend Buck.
I'm Buck. I've been in therapy pretty much all my life, psychiatry, always the patient. Um, and we're here today to talk about putting the fun back into dysfunction. And we're going to start off with Amy. And what was your dysfunctional moment?
Oh, I'm so dysfunctional with my cat. So we had him declawed because he kept giving me cellulitis, and so he hasn't scratched me. It's because he can't, because he has no claws. So the other day he was sitting on my lap, and I always have to pay attention because he doesn't like to have movement over his head. And I was moving, I was playing a game or something, and he actually bit me like pretty hard, and left teeth marks and everything. So and cat bites are like, they have a lot of bacteria, so like cat bites are kind of like are a problem, and can be, and for me it's a big problem because the cat bite med, the antibiotic they use for that is clindamycin, which broke me out in that huge rash. Ended up in the hospital with that one. And the other one is amoxicillin, which I'm also allergic to. I broke out with that one for a long time ago. I broke out, so I don't want to get to the point where I have anaphylactic shock. So therefore, but I did go to the hospital, to the emergency room. They gave me a different kind of antibiotic, and so far so good. I haven't broken out, and it's not infected or anything, so I think I'm okay. But my cat is so dysfunctional, and my relationship with my cat is very dysfunctional.
You
So
just have to know.
anyway,
You have to know when they're in the attack mode.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He sits. Do you remember the Klebon? Klebon was a cartoonist in the 80s,
Oh
90s,
yeah.
and he's still around, but like people aren't as familiar with his stuff. But one of the things is that he said, cat. A definition of a cat is an animal that's frequently mistaken for a meatloaf. So, but when they're in meatloaf mode, it's like their paws are under them, they're looking at you. They don't usually sleep like that. And when he's in that mode, I know that he might be like looking to fight something or to attack something or hunt or whatever. So, if he's in that mode, I have to make sure that he's not on me because I
Yeah.
can't get bit again.
Yeah.
I can't get an infection again. He's cost me way too much money.
Yeah.
He's our $1 million cat. So
Pets cost.
anyway,
Um,
that was my dysfunction. Did you have one?
yeah, I just actually just thought of it. So, I had all this dental work done, like $6,000. So the front tooth came out again.
Oh,
Came out
you're
again.
kidding.
Yes, when I was water picking my teeth, it just came out. So I have to
Oh,
go
it should not do
tomorrow,
that.
and I don't know what she's going to do because it seems like it's connected. She whittled the tooth down to cap it, so there's
Yeah,
really no tooth left. So he has there's a spike in the top of it that fits it,
yeah.
and she glued it again, and it came out again. So I don't know what to do.
It should
I'm
not do that.
very
Yeah.
discouraged. The little cap that she put on the other one broke off like 2 days after she put it on. So I'm not really worried about that one, but I do need a front tooth. But luckily the mustache hides it, so you don't
For now, yeah.
see my top teeth. I mean, but it's infuriating. And I don't know what she's going to say. I don't know if she's going to say, well, you should probably get an implant, because I can't afford implants, because I spent $6,000 on my teeth.
On what they did. Yeah.
So
That's nuts.
I mean, I'm just really really frustrated, and part of it is it costs so much. But truth of the matter is, I still haven't done my taxes, so I need to do my taxes, and it's something that my anxiety has been putting off. But now I really want to do it, because now there is a socialized, right,
Right.
government help for dental, and you have to be
Right.
below this amount of income per year to qualify for it. And it's my own fault, because I just, you know My ex still hasn't done his, so I was kind of waiting to do them at the same time, even though we don't do them together anymore. But and the other
Right.
dysfunction is, oddly enough, because I live with him, I have to go back on his insurance, which is a
Oh.
private insurance, which I don't like. It's great if you go. It's like if I went to the U.S. and I had an accident, it would pay for everything.
Oh yeah.
It would pay for everything.
Yeah.
Um, it does things like I did have uh, a chronic illness that it paid for the medication that the province wouldn't really pay for, so it paid for that, and I got rid of it.
Good.
Um, it it does stuff like that, but it also has now a deductible of like $400 per year. So you have to spend the first 400 yourself.
Right.
Whereas whereas I think it's a year. Whereas if the provincial is just $100 a month, you never
Yeah.
pay more than $100 a month. And my meds are, because they're HIV meds, are very expensive.
I understand that.
So,
MS meds are horrible.
yeah, so $100 a month, it's not a big deal. I mean, I
Right.
like paying it, but it's it's
But it covers a lot of stuff.
yeah. And
Yeah.
once you reach that 100, everything, any other thing, like if I had to go get antibiotics or pain
Yeah.
medication or something like severe pain medication, it would just pay for it. And it pays for
Right.
my. There's no distinction between mental and
I.
physical.
Yeah.
So
Good.
it pays
Yeah.
for
There
mine.
shouldn't be.
Whereas in New Jersey, they're like, oh, well, we
Yeah.
don't pay for this.
I
Or we
know.
only pay this much for this. And it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, medication is
Yeah.
medication. So
Yeah.
my
It makes no
dysfunction
sense.
is threefold because you know, I should have done my taxes, and you
Yeah.
know, I just was going through that really bad anxiety period, but now I'm a little better, so I think that I can do it
Good.
now and get it done, and then apply for the dental. So I don't know. We'll see tomorrow what she is going to say.
What she says.
Yeah.
Well, I had a crown in the back of my in the back, and it kept coming up, and it was a gold crown. And every once in a while, this is when I was working in downtown with largely African American population. And every once in a while, the kids would be like playing doctor, and they'd see my gold tooth, and they'd be like, "She's got a gold tooth," and I was like, "I'm not proud," but anyway, but they thought it was cool. But it kept coming out, and finally, the dentist said, "It, I have to do something different." And he did it for free because it came out way too many times.
Right.
And it wasn't like eating like something super sticky and chewy.
Yeah.
It was just like, chewing up a turkey burger or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mine was I
so
was water picking my teeth.
yeah,
And it just it I
yeah,
didn't even know it came out until I felt it, felt the gap.
yeah,
And then I had to look in the sink to
to see if it
see
was
where
there.
it was.
Yeah, because I finally that thing came out finally when I was eating and I swallowed it and didn't know
Oh,
and was like, wait a minute, what's wrong? Oh, the gold tooth is in my system and I wasn't gonna go looking for it.
no.
So yeah, so I don't know how much gold was in there, but
Yeah.
I've been swimming with the fishes now. So
Okay. Well, today we're going to talk about in our series on emotions, and whether or not this is an emotion, you can decide. But there's a satisfaction, contentment where you're not really, you're not extremely happy,
yeah,
euphoric,
yeah,
but you're not sad. Uh,
right,
you've accepted what's happening and you're content with it.
right,
So I'm going to let
yeah,
Amy start off with this as far as
yeah,
acceptance, accepting,
yeah,
not being able to control something, so you just
right,
accept it.
right.
Okay.
Well, and that's the final stage of grief, and definitely I saw myself go through the stages of grief when I had MS, and it's still, there's times where I still have that depression or just being pissed about it or whatever. But generally, I'm aware that I have it. It's going to stay. I can't make it go away. I can only treat the symptoms and take the disease modifying meds as best I can. We were talking about how expensive they were earlier. So my med, that the Tecfidera that I'm on twice a day, it's just a tablet twice a day, and it is like almost $1,500, $15,000 a month.
Wow.
So Yeah, MS meds are notoriously expensive, and I'm sure it's because number one, they're hard to produce, and number two, they know they have a captive audience, and definitely it's expensive in other countries too, but it's not nearly as expensive as that in other countries. So they've just jacked the price up hugely on the MS meds.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I looked at my explanation of benefits at the end of the year once, and what I'd spent on medications was like 150,000. Is what paid out.
Right.
I mean, I didn't spend that; the insurance spent that. So, if I didn't have insurance, if you don't have insurance, like how can you possibly afford $150,000 a year just for your medication?
Right.
That was more than like my mortgage at the time. So anyway, yeah. I don't know why I was saying that. Oh, but I had to come to some understanding of what I could do to manage my health. That was one of them, and it took me a while to get there because they're all also abortifacients. Like if you take the MS meds and you're pregnant, you will have a miscarriage. That's just how it is. So I waited because I had just had Eli. Like I got diagnosed when he was 1 year old, and I was like, maybe I might want another kid.
Right.
So I was really resisting the meds, and then finally I'd had enough of exacerbations that I finally went, I just can't
Right.
not take this stuff. I've got to. So yeah, so that's acceptance, accepting that like that was the limit of that was the end of like thinking I was going to have any bigger family than I had,
Right.
and just accepting the fact that I have it. It's progressive. I'll probably die of the symptoms of it at some point. But theoretically, it doesn't shorten your lifespan, so that's a good thing.
Right.
But you just might want it to shorten because it's such a pain in the ass. So
Right.
anyway, but I've come to the understanding that it's here and that's how it's going to be, and that's how I'm going to have to use a mobility device my whole life, and that's just the end of the story.
Right.
You know.
So
So where's that?
the acceptance, also, I was thinking the satisfaction of doing the best that you can do, and you have
Yeah.
finding that sometimes it's so elusive, because you always think that you could do better, and you look back. I was thinking about film actors who can't watch their movies, who can't watch their
Yeah.
television series because they always see what's wrong. And I do that too when I look at stuff that I've done. I see what's wrong. And if we could all just come to some sort of acceptance
Yeah.
or satisfaction, this calmness, this peace that would come over us, but it always seems so elusive.
It
I
is.
mean, for me,
Well, it is because life is hard.
yeah,
Yeah. For you, what?
for me, it's the loop that plays in my mind that I could have done better, or I should have done this, and
Yeah.
accepting that I have mental issues, like anxiety and depression and stuff like that, and that I can do only so much before it hits a level of anxiety. And if I could find the peace, the satisfaction knowing that I did my best, but the loop in my head won't let me do that.
Mm.
So it's
Yeah.
elusive to me. I mean, have you've had
Yeah.
a very,
I understand that. Yeah.
you know,
I, you know, this is my kind of analogy, but I'm afraid of heights. Like that's my phobia. Is if I'm up too high, I like get really nervous and whatever. And I know it's irrational. I'm 100% aware of that, but I just still feel it. So like I'll say, I'll be up high and I'll go, "You're not gonna fall. You're not gonna fall. You're not gonna fall. You're not going to fall, but I might,"
right,
is where my brain goes. And so it's just one of those things where I'm fortunate to live in the flattest area of the country. And the name of the town means flat
yeah,
prairie land. So, so I don't have to worry about it. And so that's how I've got to contentment with that. But if lived somewhere where I was going to have to go up high, or if I had to work in a skyscraper or something, I would have to like work on managing that anxiety.
right,
And the more you do something that you're afraid of, the less anxiety you're going to have. The more you put it off, the worse the anxiety gets. We
right,
talked about that before. So it's really about like not avoiding the topic, not being conflict avoidant or avoidant of discomfort,
Right.
You just have to commit to like understanding that sometimes you're going to be uncomfortable,
Right.
and that's okay, and it will pass. I've been looking at these YouTubes and stuff like that where they say if you can wait 20 minutes through any feeling, like if it's a craving for food that you don't want to eat, or you're feeling your anxiety or depression or whatever, if you can sit with it and say, okay, I'm going to give it 20 minutes. It will probably dissipate before the 20 minutes is over, but for sure by the 20 minutes is over, you're not going to, it's the 20 minutes is as long as you're going to be able to stay
Right.
in emotion. I've actually heard 9 minutes, but 20 is probably more realistic.
Right.
But, so that's a big part of it is to just commit to the fact that it's going to happen and let whatever it is going to happen. If it's a transient thing like an emotion, sit with it for as long as you can, up to 20 minutes, and I guarantee you'll be ready to go after that.
Right.
When it's happening, it feels like it's going to be forever. I
Right.
understand that, but it's not.
Right.
So that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Accepting your condition for me, is realizing that I can't do everything that I want to do, or
Right.
more the things my brain said I should do right now, and just stepping back from that and saying, this is all I can do right now. This is all I can,
Exactly.
and I
Yeah.
can't, I can't go out of the house today. I just can't, But when I did, like I went out Sunday, we did like a day trip and we went to the orchard again, but we didn't pick apples. They have bread and butter pickles that the monks make. And oh my
Yeah. Yeah.
God, it's so good. It's better than my
Yeah.
mother's, the bread and butter
Oh
pickles.
wow.
So I wanted to get those, and I wanted to get some fresh vegetables and stuff to cook and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I've been cooking more. I'm getting better.
Yeah.
Tomorrow may set me back if she can't fix this tooth. Things like that set me back because I can't accept it.
Yeah.
And I feel like life is just kicking me in the head. I'm like, really? It came out again? I mean, am
Yeah.
I ever gonna I'm just, you see me, I'm all shaggy. I don't care to shave. I haven't had an audition in a few weeks now, 3 weeks. So I'm just kind of, hanging
You're
on,
just like
just barely
being
hanging on. But I'm starting to accept that this is what it's going to be. And, it's not, you know, if I can't get the tooth replaced tomorrow, then I'm just going to have to wait till I get on this dental program and stuff because I'm not going to pay again. So, and
yeah.
she better fix it for
No,
me.
I think since it came out, that's a dentist, and you weren't doing anything
Yeah,
that you shouldn't have. I mean,
yeah,
you were just like flossing your teeth basically with the water pick, and so she ought to put it in for
yeah,
free, I would
yeah,
imagine. But
yeah,
because I had that same thing, and the dentist kept putting it back in for free when it finally, I finally swallowed it, and they had to replace it completely, one of the teeth that I had. So that was fun. But
yeah.
yeah, but they didn't. My dentist didn't charge me for that.
Well, she
So
didn't charge me last time it came out for that, but this other
yeah,
tooth that she kind of builds up, it just it fell off 2 days after she put it on.
yeah.
So I'm
And
like,
that's
I don't
mechanical.
really care about that one. It's a small gap. I don't really
Yeah,
care at my age. I had a thing the other day where I I'm gaining weight because of the medication.
the med.
I went back on olazapine because the other one, Abilify, made me jumpy, made me
Yeah.
like constantly
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. I'm waiting again, still waiting to see the bipolar psychiatrist, the
Yeah.
psychiatrist who's
Because that
bipolar.
if Abilify made you jumpy or little, like touched on the mania,
Yeah,
or it made you feel. It might be that you don't have bipolar, but it's hard to say.
yeah,
I'm obviously not an expert, so
yeah.
talk
But
to the
it made
doctor.
me like hyper, and that
Yeah.
would lead
Yeah.
to mania for me. So
Right.
I'm not in a manic state. I've come out of the manic state, which I
Good.
realized I'm starting to be able to see it now. Just recently,
Yeah.
starting to be able
Yeah.
to see it.
To recognize when you're manic
Yeah,
instead of just like feeling good. Yeah.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
can't get out of it. Like I was obsessed with my phone
Yeah.
and messages
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And now I don't really look at my phone that much. So Um, it's just a distraction. It's not, it's not like my
Yeah.
life when I
Yeah.
was manic. That was insane. So there's a satisfaction that I feel for not having that right now, that I'm in a
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
place. And I was really depressed last week, still depressed, but like I'm getting out of it. Like last
Yeah.
night, we got an electric grill. So
Nice.
yeah,
So you
got
you
an
cook
electric grill
or
from a
yeah.
friend, and
Oh,
it's
nice.
actually really great. It's like, I think we
Yeah.
paid $25 or $40 for it. And
Oh, that's great.
it's, I made steak last night, which is really hard for me to eat with my teeth like this.
Yeah.
So, but the tender parts were good, and I made steak, fresh broccoli from Quebec, and potatoes from Quebec. There's this little corner store that is all vegetables, and they're all Quebec, as much as they can,
Yeah.
as much as they can. I mean, the oranges obviously aren't from here, but
Oh, right.
they're
Right.
pretty good. But they have like
Yeah.
strawberries, Quebec wild blueberries, Quebec
Oh, nice.
tahini, Quebec. So I go there now to do the vegetables instead of the grocery store. But
That's very.
I'm cooking more, which means that I'm better. I'm getting better.
Yeah.
So
You're feeling better.
tomorrow
Yeah.
will be a whole setback because I won't be able to accept that I can't get this tooth fix, that she gives up
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how that will work. And
Yeah.
it'll send me into a tailspin. I go into tailspins when I can't control, when I
Right.
feel out of
Control
control,
feels. Yeah.
or put on by society, like kicked in the head. Then that sends
Yeah.
me in a whole depressed, and looking for some sort of distraction, which will lead to some sort of mania. So
Right.
I
It's
long
difficult.
for that satisfaction, that feeling of contentment. So
Yeah. Yeah.
one thing,
Good.
I've being a gay man, you're always not right now, obviously, but conscious of your looks. But I've I used to say, oh, you know, this guy, he's overweight, he doesn't have a body shape, he doesn't, and he's like 70 or something like that. And I'm starting to realize that actually, if I am a little overweight, then I don't really care. I don't
It's
really
really
care.
okay.
Whereas
Yeah.
before, I always cared. I always
Me too.
so, and if I look a
And I'm
little,
a white woman in the United States, so I have exactly the same issues.
yeah,
And I haven't. I just think makeup is fun, so I'm not going to quit wearing makeup. But I think my sister has. I think she finally said, like, "What's the point? It's
yeah,
just a pain in the neck." So, but I'm not quite there yet. But I understand. Like, it's be content because I've struggled with my weight. Not really, but in my head, I've struggled with it
yeah,
my whole life. And I finally, in my adulthood, I finally do have a little bit of a weight problem, but it's not like I'm not like morbidly obese. I might be obese on the doctor's scale, but I'm not, really, really obese. But in for the United States, I'm not a skinny girl, you
right,
know, and it's hard. It's hard to, even when I was down at my very lowest, like I think I weighed 115 for a while in
wow,
college, which is actually probably too skinny. So, but that was at my lowest. I never even felt that thin,
yeah.
even though I was. But because I've always had curves, that's my problem. I'm a curvy girl, regardless.
Well,
So
it's not a problem. It's,
it's not a problem.
yeah,
It's just a thing. It's
and
just a
it's
body.
more
But it is, like it's a body image problem, a
right,
body dysmorphia. Yeah,
right, right. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just felt the other day. I like was really thinking about it, and I thought I don't feel that way anymore. I mean,
yeah,
I've worked out, so I have this big, broad. So
yeah. You're
that's
muscular.
never going to go away.
Your muscles are still there. You
Yeah,
just aren't
not
as
going to
cut
go
up,
away. I
maybe,
just
but
have
you're still
gained some
muscular.
weight. Yeah, I've gained
Yeah,
some weight,
yeah,
and right now, for some days, I don't feel like going to the gym. I'd rather just stay inside, and that's just where I am, and I
yeah,
have to accept that, and accept
yeah.
and know that I will be
That's where you
going
are
back to the gym. I will be going back to the
eventually.
gym, and I will be.
Yeah,
I went, um, actually went yesterday, went,
good for you.
and I don't know if I'm going today, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I know I think we've talked about this before, but I just want to talk about it again. Is that everybody has kind of like their vortex of comfort, like your zone of comfort. So there's your baseline, which is when you're just content and satisfied, and then there's there's room above and below to stay kind of regulated.
Right.
So, like something that may make you feel a little higher is like, oh, I'm going to have lunch with friends on Friday, which is true. So that may put me up a little bit higher, but not into mania. And then, maybe like I broke my nail, so I might have a little bit under, but I'm still within that level of like, I'm content.
Right.
And there are people whose levels are bigger, and people I know one lady who, like, as long as everything is exactly perfect, she'll be fine. But if she broke a nail, that means I have to go drink.
Right.
And I have to get drunk, and then it starts the cycle all
Right.
over. So it's really good to be able to, like, get that vortex where you're just content to be relatively wide.
Right.
Instead of just like even, because no one's going to be there. All bad things are going to happen, good things are going to happen. If you need a little dopamine rush, that doesn't mean you're going to go into mania, by buying something or whatever. But that's probably part of the problem with bipolar is, like, something like that can send you into mania. And so you have to kind of always monitor with that you're inside of that regulated state,
Right.
and anything above or below that is dysregulated. So it's hard to maintain that.
Yeah.
But it's good to know, like, if you can know what it is that makes you feel, or where it is where you just feel, I'm just content, I'm just satisfied, there's nothing I need, there's nothing I have to do, I'm just comfortable.
Right.
And it's hard to get there. And some of how you get there is through things like mindfulness and distractions. Sometimes, take a bath, or take a long walk, or something that keeps you from going off into that, like, everything's terrible or everything's so fabulous,
right,
that I can fly. I can,
right. Well, I like
so
your 20-minute thing, your 20
yeah,
minute rule, that it'll pass within 20 minutes, because when it's happening, it feels awful. I've been going through this thing where I feel that drop again, but it's only at night when I'm in bed. I feel like it's dropping. If I get up, it'll go away. So I've been getting up and watching TV and then going back to bed. And so it just feels like there's something like that. And it makes it's not restless leg. But it goes into your legs. It's really bad.
Yeah.
So the other day when we were out on Sunday, I went to one of the, I forgot what it's called, SDQs. I don't know it. It's a pot store. So it's legal here. So you can, and they have really nice stores that look like Apple. So I bought the lowest capsule.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes me sleepy, but I'm thinking maybe that's the thing that makes me jumpy too. I don't know. So I'm going to try it again today because it's the lowest dosage. And what it does is it actually...
Yeah, it takes the edge off.
Yeah, it takes the edge off, but for me...
Without altering you.
It also breaks up the loop.
Breaks the loop, yeah.
So I can't remember what I was thinking about, what I was so, concentrated on figuring out how to solve this. And all of a sudden it's gone. So, and
that's when it's not really a real problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll try to get it back, but now I'm starting to just let it go and say it doesn't matter.
Let it go.
I like what you said about last week, where you were saying about mindfulness. If you want to talk about that again, like knowing where you are, what you're smelling.
Yeah. Yeah. Mindfulness is about being, people think mindfulness is things like taking care of yourself, and it's not. Mindfulness is being right where you are, right in that moment, recognizing being aware of what's coming in through your senses, and just really focusing on what's going on right now. And you can do that even when you're in the middle of a panic attack. A way to manage it is to just go, isn't that interesting that my heart's beating really fast and my breath is coming really fast? And I don't necessarily have to change anything right now, but if I want to, I can,
Right.
But in that moment, you just want to be as present as you can possibly be,
Right.
And I've had clients who, I had a client the other day who got some bad news, and he went, I want to be high right now. Because he's recovering.
Right.
And I said, it's not that you don't want to be, it's not that you want to be high, it's that you don't want to be present
Right.
in your body for this. It's so being present feels terrible.
Right.
But if you can be present for like 5 minutes and really pay attention, that feeling is going to dissipate. And then if you can get through 20 minutes, I guarantee it'll be gone all the way. So, but it's easy to like think this feels so bad. I've got to take care of it and get rid of it right this second. But
Right.
it's not always the best thing to do.
Yeah. But when you're
Yeah.
feeling it,
How's
when you're going
it
through it,
feel?
it's so hard. It's so
Right.
hard. But I will try the mindfulness. That's good.
Yeah.
Just not
Yeah.
having control,
Right.
you know,
Right.
it can make people like me crazy. Learning to accept it, that that's just the
And you
way it
don't have
is,
control.
and it's going to play
Yeah.
out the way it's going to play out. It's very hard
And
for
you
me to
can't
do
do
that.
anything about it.
Right. But if I can learn to do
Yeah.
that, and if I can sit with the emotion and the terror, because it is
Yeah.
terror sometimes. In my mind,
Yeah.
it's terror.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I can really think about sitting with it and being mindful and saying,
And just like
nothing's happening
keeping your
to
eye
me right
on
now,
getting through it.
nothing physical, nothing,
Right.
I'm in a safe place.
Not in danger.
Right. Right.
Even if it feels that way. Yeah, because feelings aren't always true. Emotions are always true. When you have an emotion, you're having that emotion. There's no like saying you aren't feeling that way or having that emotion. But feelings are a lot of times thoughts. Like you feel like you're in danger. That's a thought. I'm in danger is a thought, not a feeling.
Right.
But that thought engenders the feeling of fear and terror and your heart beating and all those kind of things. So if you can change, that's cognitive behavioral therapy. If you can change your thoughts, a lot of times that will change your emotions. Not always, but a lot of times.
Yeah.
So you have to remember that when you say I have this feeling of doom, that isn't a feeling, that's a thought.
Right.
And change that thought.
Right.
And the other thing I wanted to say is there's this lady named Byron Katie. That's her name's backwards like that. This Byron Katie, but she talks about these. She has these 4 steps that are a little gimmicky, but I can use them sometimes. One of them is if you have a thought of I should feel better, or something like that. I should feel less anxious. When you say I should, then you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. So you have to ask yourself the question of, are you 100% sure that is it true? And if you say yes, then you have to ask yourself the second question was, are you 100% sure that it's true? Really, really think about whether it's true or not. And then the third one is, how do you feel when you think that thought, and do you want to keep that thought? And she does something called what she calls a turnaround, which I'm not really that thrilled with that aspect of it. But she says, instead of saying I should feel safe, say turn it around and say I shouldn't feel danger or something like that.
Right.
But that's I think the first three questions are better, or 4 questions really, because the one is, do you want to keep that thought?
Right.
How do you feel when you think that? And do you want to keep that thought, or do you want to like think of something different? And usually you don't want to keep those thoughts, and that's when you can change them, and that's when you need to be mindful
Right.
about there isn't anything that should be happening right now. It's just the way it is. It just is happening.
Yeah. Acceptance. Yeah. All right. Well, that is our podcast for today, our video podcast. We'll be back next week we'll think we're going to come to
something else
and come to an end on the series on emotions.
Yeah,
We've
the stages of grieving.
If you have a suggestion for a topic, you can always make a comment on
message or post.
And we will see you next week. Bye.
Okay, bye guys.